Hello there, my little goldies, and welcome back to my sanctuary, and welcome back to another video. So this video has been a long time in coming. I don't believe I have ever shared my completed journals with you guys, and the reason I have not done that before is because I kind of felt like I didn't really have enough to show. But I had a very pleasant surprise. You guys have probably heard me say, well, those of you that have been around, first of all, welcome to everybody that is new. I know I had some new subscribers, so welcome to everyone who is new, and welcome back to everyone who has been watching for a while. But many of you who have been with my channel for a long time know that when I was talking about my old completed journals, I had said that I used to keep journals back when I was in junior high and high school, and that I didn't have them anymore, that I thought that they got lost when, you know, in one of my moves or whatever. But yeah, but the pleasant surprise was I actually had them here all along, and I actually found them one day when we were, we have, well, it's kind of like a upstairs, it's like a half a story that we have like on an upper level here in the house, and that used to be our very messy junk room up there, but we cleaned it out pretty good. It's still a bit messy, but it's now sort of part of it is my husband's kind of extra storage stuff, and then I have a lot of my yarn up there. So we spent probably about a good day and a half just cleaning out just the junk we didn't want, and then putting my yarn up there and kind of organizing it a little bit. But as I was going through some stuff, I actually found my old journals from way back in the day. So now that I have them, plus a few other ones that I've completed in my adult life, I thought it would be a good time to show you the completed ones and actually show you the journal that I am using now, and reveal the one that, if you watched my last video, I did sort of a which journal video, and so I had you guys vote for which one you thought I should use next, because I was kind of in a, okay, I don't know which one I want to do, so sometimes I leave that up to my YouTube viewers. But anyway, so I thought I would go ahead and show you the completed journals plus the one I'm currently using. Now, this video is not going to be about the actual ones that I'm using, because I have like several ones that I use for different purposes, which I'm not going to show my current journals in this video. I will make that for another video. It's been probably a couple of years since I've done one of those, but I will go ahead and make another video for that. But this video is just going to be the completed ones that I've done over my lifetime. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, this one here, now the first ones I'm going to show you are very old. I mean, we're talking like back in the 80s, you know, when I was a teenager. I am very much dating myself here, aging myself here, guys. But this journal here, I actually got from a very good friend of mine, and I'm going to kind of point the camera down just a little bit. I got from a very good friend of mine. She was my BFF when we were in school together, and so she got this for me for Christmas, and it just says diary. And it's like one of those like one-year diaries where you get like one day per page. And let me just make sure that in the front cover here I don't have any kind of like personal stuff going on here. But this, let me show you. This is what the front page is going to look like. You know, it's very old. So that's what you got on the inside of the book. But let me just, and I did this, let's see, the year that I did this was 1986, so from January 1st to December 31st. And let me just kind of show you, guys just a little bit. Now I'm going to kind of cover a lot of this up because it's just, you know, but what you got is on the top of the page, you got like what day it was, like for instance, March 24th. Okay. So you got like, March 24th, it says March 24th up there, and so you just got like this little page to write like what was going to happen on March 24th, and then you just get one day per page, and so you really couldn't get like a whole lot of stuff on there. But you know, it's just like all writing, you know, nothing, you know, I didn't decorate it or anything because it was a little thing, there just wasn't enough, you know, a whole lot of room to do a whole lot, you know, but it was pretty much like I like going through this and just kind of reading some of the entries. I mean, it is, you know, it is so ridiculous because like it was mainly me just sort of belly aching about how dreadful I believed my life was at that time, you know, and just school woes and And yeah, you know, admittedly, I didn't really have very many happy school years because I wasn't one of the cool kids, and being visually impaired and coming from a small town and all that, I was kind of one of the ones that was picked on and teased quite a bit. So school wasn't like very happy for me per se, but yeah, it was, I mean, just looking at things now and looking at how things were back then, it's like, oh, times were so much simpler back then. But yeah, so this one was from January 1st, 1986 to December 31st, 1986. And you know what, I wrote in this thing like every day, and in the back there's like addresses and stuff. You could put like addresses of your friends and all that. It didn't have a lock or anything, but I wrote in this thing like every single day. Like I did not skip a day. So, and I think it was, and I don't think it was leap year that year, but it did have a day for leap year. And so I just kind of used it as an extension of, I think it was like February 28th or whatever. But yeah, so there was my 1986 journal. And here was my 1987 journal. Okay, so here's what that looked like. And it is like, it used to have a lock on it, but I mean, it came off a long time ago. The thing is totally falling apart, but it's just a little bitty journal. It's just a little bitty journal, you know, and again, it's just, and again, I wrote it in every day, but again, it's like the same thing. You get 1 day per page, and it's just a lot of writing. Again, you know, pretty much just a carryover of what I did in my last one, but there's that one, and it just says 1 year diary, okay? So 1 day per page you got on that one. And then this one here was my let's see, the one I'm going to show you next is my 1988 one, I do believe. I'm just going to kind of flip this over. Yeah, this was my 1988 one, and it is like falling apart. It is like literally falling apart. I don't know, I think something got to it or something, but it is like falling apart. But again, like 1 day per page. 1 year diary, you know, it's just, I had a lot of these like 1 year diaries that I used, and so I mean, this is like falling apart. I mean, this is even coming out of the main book here, so I'm gonna have to see if I can like fix it, maybe try to glue it back together. But again, I wrote in this thing like every single day. Again, a lot of the same kind of crap that I had in my other two. Again, I was a teenager. Again, it had a lock, it came off, so I mean, this thing is like super old. Then the next one is, this one I did from, 19, this one I did in like 1989. This one here I did in like 1989. Now it's still a little book, but it wasn't like a 1 year diary per se. Like you could, it was just a blank journal, and you could actually, it didn't have like pre-labeled pages or anything, but again, a lot of writing here. I was very much religious about, you know, keeping up to date. So I started this like on, and so what's kind of cool about this one is like you got birthstones in the front. You just got like some horoscope. So it's kind of like, you could have used this as like a celestial journal or whatever, but about diaries, you know. So I started this one January 1st, 1989, and I kept this up to, and I wrote to the very last page here, but let's see, mementos. I think I must have like, I gotta see what I wrote in this section, but mementos, all-time favorites. So I mean, there's like different sections that you could fill out as well. All-time favorites, you know, and I must have scribbled a bunch of stuff out, but and then December 31st, 1989. So it must have been like designed as like a 1 year diary, like it had enough pages to do the 1 year, and then you just got like 1 day per page or whatever. But yeah, a lot of times I just and I labeled them. Yeah, I labeled them, but there's some days that I didn't do it. Yeah, 'cause I must have like labeled like 1 day per page or whatever, or yeah, 1 page per day, and then there's like some days I skipped. So yeah, it was like the first journal that I actually skipped a day in writing. But yeah, I wrote a lot in it. So pretty much just writing, again, just kind of a little thing. But this was a very pretty journal. I kind of wish I could find something like this again, but only bigger, you know, only bigger, because I kind of find that, well, and I have several little journals, but not this little. This is like a pocket-sized journal. And a lot of the journals I have now are, some of them I consider little, but they're quite a bit bigger than this. So, but it would really be great if I could find a similar design in, you know, in a bigger size book. But there was my 1989 one. And then I must have skipped a year, because this one here is, and this is another one-year diary. Again, you know, just, I must have just gravitated to these things, but this was a 1991, and again, each day was labeled, so like you get 1 day per page, and so I wrote, there's a few days that I actually did skip in this, but this was my 1991 diary. So again, I skipped a few days. I skipped a few days, but I tried to do my best to write in the thing like every day. See, again, more days I skipped. I must have skipped quite a few days here, but I must have skipped about maybe a couple weeks. But anyway, I tried to do my best to write in the thing like every day, and I guess I must have skipped, I think I stopped doing it, let's see, I think my last day that I wrote in this was like November 23rd. Yeah, November 23rd, because all the rest of this is blank. I didn't complete the book, but it's got like gold gilding on the edges. So I mean, it was a very pretty book. Again, it's real old. It's kind of not really falling apart, but you can tell that it's kind of been around the block. But that was my 1991 diary. And again, these were just like, again, these were through my teenage years and like teenage angst. I mean, just, you know, going back and looking at this stuff, it is so ridiculous, like what I wrote. But at the time, it was very important to me, you know, at the time. But, you know, I'm now like in my late 40s, and it's like, wow, 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 wow. I can't believe I actually wrote that kind of stuff. But yeah, so kind of silly, but, you know, I'm glad I have it. Now the next notebook, now this is just a regular notebook that I actually got when I was in college. And, so this one started off in, March 18th, 1994, and it went up to, August 5th, 1994. So this one I kept like, and I did like more details, I guess, in this one. And again, it's just all writing. And I'm just kind of quickly flipping through, because, you know, there's personal stuff in there, obviously. But, so, you know, just a few months in 1994 that I kept this one. But I totally pretty much, I think there's like one or two pages in this notebook that I did not fill up. Yeah, 2 pages that I actually didn't fill up. But, I mean, it was like from March until August, you know, 5 months of writing in this one. And so this one obviously was a bit more mature, because, you know, I was a college student at the time, and I was married. Yeah, I was married at the time and in college, so this one was quite a bit more mature. Yeah, I still did a lot of belly aching, but it was like, you know, college stress and all that, you know. But, you know, I talked about like what my husband and I did, like when I'd go home for the weekends and so forth. But so anyway, that one was partially 1994. Okay, now getting into, let's skip over many years later, many years later. Okay, so we're going to start at 2014. Now, in between, like if we'd go on trips or whatever, I did keep notes of what we did, like what we did when we went on trips. Like we actually did go to Australia in 1994, and I actually kept a journal about that. I don't know where that is at the moment. It may be in with my Australia pictures, but I don't have that handy at the moment. And then, but as far as like a regular journal, I did not do anything after that until 2014, when I decided to get back into journaling again. I regret not journaling for many years, but you know what they say, better late than never. And so now, you know, I do it pretty regularly. So anyway, this next journal here, this is a this was like a journal that went with a digital pen called LiveScribe. So this brand is a LiveScribe notebook, and it goes with a kind of a digital pen. And what a digital pen is, and you have to have the proper notebook to go with it too. And LiveScribe makes, you know, all different kinds of notebooks and journals and stuff. But what it is like if you have a, you know, the certain notebook or whatever that you're writing in with this pen, the pen is equipped to, I guess, take a picture of what you're writing. And so when you sync it, it syncs into an app like Evernote. And so, yeah, you got your hard copy journal, but you also got a copy of it on your computer. And so you can go back and you can look at your entries and stuff on the computer. So you've got that backup. And so I thought it was kind of a neat thing. So I kept this journal, but this went from like, I want to say January 16th until May, I think 14th of 2014. On the bottom, like you got these like LiveScribe controls, and you touch the pen to the different things and it'll have like different functions and stuff. But anyway, this one, now I did not put any pictures or anything in this one. It's just all writing. It's all writing here, all writing. And it's because, again, you have that smart pen. Yeah, they call it a smart pen. I wanted to call it a digital pen, but it's actually a smart pen. I just thought this journal was so neat, so I used this journal, you know, to go with my smart pen, but this is all writing. And so it started off on, we had gone on a cruise in 2014 in January, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep a nice journal about it. So I started it off in this one, and then I just continued with it. So this went from like January 16th of 2014 to May 14th, I believe, of 2014. This is all 2014. So I actually got through this journal pretty fast. I was pretty much a stickler about writing in it every day or almost every day. Okay. And so I got through that journal pretty fast. Okay. Now the next journal, is a Barnes & Noble leather journal. This one is called the Duchessa Journal. And so as you can see, it's got like little music notes and stuff on it. It's a very, very pretty journal. Genuine leather, but you can see how thick it was. And so this one took me quite a long time to get through. Now, by the time I got to this book, there were times when I had long lapses where I didn't journal anything. And then, you know, so it took me quite a bit of time to get through. And, you know, because I did have, you know, sometimes maybe a couple of months or even, you know, a few weeks where I just did not write anything, and then I'd come back to it. And so I was not very avid about writing in this thing every day, which I regret, you know, but sometimes like life gets busy and you just get too tired to write. But, you know, I kind of felt like I should have been more diligent about writing in this a lot more often. So this one, it has a tie. Okay. Let me go ahead and untie that. Now this one went from, and I'm not going to show you the front of this because it's got, I put a sticky note with my address and stuff in it just in case it got lost. But I started this on May 15th of 2014, and my last entry was on September 25th of 2016. So as I said, it took me like a little bit over 2 years to get through this one. But again, like I said, I wasn't very diligent about writing in this as often as I should have. There were some long lapses, but mainly, you know, again, just pretty much writing, pretty much just all writing, pretty boring. This really wasn't my creative outlet. Every once in a while I would put pictures in here, and let me get to a page where I put, I did some cutouts of some Stephen King books and just kind of pasted them in there just to kind of spruce things up a little bit. Let's see. I didn't do this very often, but you know, there were times that I actually did put a few little pictures and stuff in there, but let's see. Oh, there's another one. Let's see. It's a private entry though. Oh, I had a picture when they took a picture of me when I went in for a sleep study, and they had me all hooked up to all this stuff, and I am not going to show that because I look like Dr. Frankenstein's creation there. But yeah, so this is pretty much all writing. But again, it took me a little bit over 2 years to get through this one because I just kind of had times where I didn't write in this as often as I should have. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this one back up, and I'll be back to show you the next one. Now this next journal was a Peter Popper Press journal, and it was and it had some gilding around the edge of the pages there. And this one, let me show you the end papers on this one. I'm not going to show you the front end papers because I have some personal information in there, but it's blue. And this, I believe, was called the Blue Mandalas Journal. And I started this one on, I put this one as volume number 3. I started this one on May 21st of 2016, and I did not get through this one until February 17th of 2018. And the reason for that was because I actually took a break with this journal, and I actually started this journal kind of in between because this was about the time that I was going for training to get Alex. And I was heavily into this journal, but I did not want to take this journal, you know, with having written some stuff in there in case it got lost and then I'd lose all my progress. So I decided that when I went on that trip that I would start with the fresh journal, complete this journal, and then come back to this one and complete this one. So even though I started this one in 2016, or even though I didn't finish this one until 2018, it was because I was completing this journal and then I went back to this one. So there's like a little bit of a break between an entry and then in the next one. So it was kind of like how do I put this? So I started this one, took a break, started and completed this one, and then went back to this one. And so that's why it looks like I did not, you know, that's why it kind of took me a long time to get through this one. And again, I should have been more diligent about writing in the journals, but you know, there were again some lapses of time where I didn't write anything. This one did not have a pocket in the back. It is a hardcover book. All writing in this one. So yeah, there's that one. That's what I call volume number 3. However, I did have the journal that, like I said, I took when I was getting Alex, and this one is a doggy journal. It's like a dog wisdom journal, and so it's got like little quotes about dogs. It says wag more, whine less, feel the love, take naps, seek the sunshine, dog wisdom, give wet kisses. So I mean, there's just like a bunch of little quotes in here, you know, about dogs. And so I thought this would be really, really appropriate for taking when I was going to Leader Dog to get Alex. There's what the end papers look like. I'm not going to show you the front because I believe I put my address in there. Yeah, I did. Even though it's really faint, I did put my address in there, and I just don't want to show that on camera. So I started this one on September 20th of 2017. And that was, yeah, and I think at the time, too, we were going to Portland, Oregon on a trip as well. So I took that one with me on that trip. And then I just carried it over to, you know, for training with Alex because I was going right from there to Leader Dog. So I started that one on September 20th of 2017 and ended this one on December 20th of 2018. So again, it seemed like, yeah, I probably should have gotten through this journal a lot faster than what I did. But again, lapses and stuff. I was not very disciplined. I had long lapses where I didn't journal at all. And then times where I was doing it every day. And then, yeah, so I should have been able to get through this one a lot sooner than I did, but I did not. And again, this is a Peter Popper Press journal, hardcover. And again, I don't think I put any pictures or anything in here. So it's all pretty much just writing. Yep. So just, you know, a lot of kind of what went on in my life and stuff. But yeah, there's that journal. Okay. And then now what I did with this next journal, and this is the journal that I'm going to show you next is the one that I just completed. Okay. So you guys have seen this journal. This is a medieval style leather type journal. And so what I did with this one, I actually made the first entry on December 22nd of 2018. All right, guys, I am back. I do apologize. I took a little bit of a break because I'm going, wait a minute, I'm missing one of my journals because I'm going, there couldn't have been, because there was like such a long break in between the very first entry I made in this and then the next entry. And I'm going, did I start another journal and then come back to this one? But I took a really long break and didn't journal, I guess, for over a year. So this one started in, as I said, December 22nd of 2018. And then I did not make another entry in this until April 19th of 2020. So there was like over a year that I did not even journal at all. I can't believe that, guys. So yeah, I kind of fell off the wagon for a little bit. But what I started doing was, now when this first started out, now this is the leather one that has the wraparound string, and then, as I said, it's that medieval style kind of journal. You see the signatures right there. And so you guys saw this one in another video. Actually, you saw this in my last video, because I showed this, and then when I was asking about which journal to do next. Well, this one is all writing. It's kind of got like that textured paper, you know, but this is all writing, all writing, all writing. No pictures or anything in there, just, you know, all writing. And so when it first started out, like, I wasn't journaling every day. And then what I started doing was, while we were having our espresso at the table, I thought, you know, because there's times when I just don't feel like journaling or whatever, like, you know, because sometimes I would do it late at night and then I just get too tired to do it and I just don't want to do it. So I started getting into the habit of just doing it every morning while we were having our espresso and stuff. And that seems to really help. So, like, it started out being just real kind of sporadic, and then I think starting in June, I started just doing it every morning while we were sitting at the table. And so I was able to get through this one. When I started doing it every day, I was able to get through this one, you know, relatively quick, and this is how thick it was. So technically it went from like December 22nd of 2018 until, technically from December 22nd of 2018 until August 12th of 2020. And then like in June, I think it was like either mid-June or late June, I started writing like every single day, you know, while we were sitting at the table. So that definitely helps to get through a journal, is when you're diligent and you write in it every day. So that's my goal, is to at least write something every day. And I've been making some pretty long entries, let me tell you. But anyway, so that is all of the journals, my completed journals that I have. So again, we had this one, we had this one here, the Blue Mandalas journal. We had this Dog Wisdom one, and I'm gonna close that up. We had the Dog Wisdom one. We had the Duchessa journal, which was a real thick one. That's the Barnes & Noble one. And then we also had the Life Scribe journal. These are the ones that I kept in my, well, I was going to say these are the ones I kept in my adult life, but, you know, technically this was also kept in my adult life. This is that notebook I had that I started in college. But between this one and starting here, it was many, 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 many years. So those are the adult journals that I have. And then when I was a kid, these are the ones that I did when I was a kid. So from 1991, 1989, 1988, 87, and 1986. So those are all my completed journals. And I will definitely have a lot more. Now that I am actually writing every day, I will actually get through quite a few journals faster. You know, not that it's a race to complete a journal like in any given time or anything, but I mean, I have a lot of journals to write in, and you know, I do want to make sure that I remain diligent, and you know, so that I can, you know, write in it every day and remain diligent, and you know, and actually have quite a bit to show for my work. But anyway, those are the completed ones. And I will have a lot more, and so as I do, I will show those. But let me show you the one that everybody voted on. So it was pretty much unanimous, and everybody liked this Tree of Life journal. This is again, this is a Barnes & Noble one. Let me move this over. This is the Barnes & Noble leather one, and it doesn't have a tie or anything, but it does have a bookmark, and I started this one today. But let me show you the pages. Those are what the pages look like, okay? And then, as I said, I started it today. And again, today is August 13th, and again, it's just writing. Like, I think this one is just going to be all writing. So writing, writing, writing. So I wrote 3, 5, 7. I wrote like an 8-page entry. 8 pages, you know, front and back, like 4 leaves, but 8 pages like front and back in this one already. And I don't know, like I said, I've been making just some really long entries because it's not just about like what I do from day to day. Like I write about other stuff. Like I write anything from like my political views to what I see on the news to just what just kind of rings a bell, what strikes me. I've been writing a lot about Caleb, you know, and just with his passing and stuff. Like I've started to kind of look at things a little bit differently, and so I've been writing you know, some stuff about that and just kind of things I'm searching for in my life right now. But yeah, so anyway, that's my current one that I just started today, plus all of the completed ones that I have done throughout my lifetime. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was quite long, but I do hope you guys enjoyed it and seeing all this stuff. But yeah, so let me know what you think, and you guys have a great day. And if you want to see more journaling videos, I will have more of those coming up. And actually, let me just kind of bring this back to the table so we have something nice to look at. But I do have some other projects in the works. Like I want to start, there's a couple of other journals that I want to start. I want to keep a record of my Cabbage Patch Kid collection, and so I want to take a picture of each one and kind of write down like what year they were made and what head mold and stuff they were and factory. And I want to do the same for my reborn dolls too. I have like 12 or 13 reborn dolls plus a couple of Ashton Drake babies and stuff. And so I want to kind of keep a record of what I have there. So those are going to be 2 projects that I'm going to be starting. That's going to be kind of ongoing because it's going to actually take me a while to get through. But yeah, and it's going to be kind of just an ongoing thing because I want to make like other notes and stuff in there too. But I will show those once I get those going. Also, I will make a video of the current journals that I am using. Not just my personal journal, you know, with all my writing, but I do have other types of journals that I've got going. And so I will show all of those. And hopefully you will find that fascinating, and I'll kind of explain like all the different journals I have. I'll have a couple of planner videos coming up. I'm kind of tweaking my planners at the moment, so I'll have a couple of that coming up. I'll do another current fountain pen video, you know, once I kind of get the some more pens in rotation. I have what I call pen laundry to do because I have pens that I've written dry that need to be flushed out and put to bed, and then rotated out with other pens and stuff. And then of course my regular coloring videos, and I have an Avon haul that I want to show you guys, plus I have another surprise that I'm going to do too. So I do have quite a few things in the works. So just be on the lookout for that. I have the last video of my husband's annex to put up where I kind of showed the completed project. So I'll have that uploaded. That's just a short one again. And I'll have a couple of subscription boxes that I'm going to show you guys that's going to be coming. So yeah, quite a bit of stuff coming up. So be on the lookout for all of that. Very, very exciting stuff. And again, I haven't really been doing like too many coloring hauls or anything because I haven't gotten anything like that. We've kind of had to watch what we do in that area. But, you know, once I can, you know, once I, you know, get more, because I do plan to. There's a few books that I want to pick up from Amazon. I just haven't done that yet. But once I do, I will definitely show you those. If you want to see flip-throughs of other coloring books, I can resume those. No problem. Yeah, so anyway, just a lot of exciting stuff coming up, and I will show you everything that I have going. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. And actually, if you want to hear, I know other people have done this too, but if you want to hear like some of my really like ridiculous entries from when I was a teenager, I can read you some stuff that is kind of innocuous, you know, that I can just sort of laugh at now. But yeah, so I can do some of that. They're pretty short because again, they were little books. But anyway, leave a comment, tell me what you think. I know I'm rambling some more. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And when you subscribe and when you view, you become part of the Goldies Club. And yeah, so that's when you get to be called one of my little Goldies. Yay! So yeah, but anyway, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys in the next video. All right, bye, my little Goldies. Bye.